So thank you very much to the organizer of this online open course for inviting me. It's a very great pleasure. So I'm going to talk about the treatment of glaucoma with ultrasound. Actually, it is called UCP, ultrasound cycloplasty. So just before beginning, let me show you a short video of the treatment, of the procedure, of the surgical treatment, which is a selective and circular coagulation of the ciliary body using high intensity focused ultrasound HIFU. So we can see one patient that I'm going to treat. We can see the machine that we use to set the parameters of the treatment. We can see the probe with 6 piezoceramic transducers, and we can see a cone designed to be put against the eye. We insert the probe into the cone is against the eye, and then we treat the patient. So we set before beginning the parameters of the treatment, and we can choose the number of sectors to be activated, 6 or 8. So for example, in this given patient, I'm going to treat with 6 sectors activated. We treat under anesthesia. We insert to begin the probe against the eye, so we can see the insertion of the probe. So as you can see, we put the coupling cone against the leads. We check the centration of the coupling cone. The centration is very important. It should be perfect. So here the centration is okay. So now I'm going to use the probe and to insert the probe in the coupling cone. So the white scleral ring is okay. We have a small vacuum system to fix the cone against the eye. It's a low pressure vacuum system, and it fixes against the eye, and it allows to avoid to have some displacement during the treatment. So we insert the probe in the cone, as you can see. Then we fill the cone with water, of course for ultrasound propagation from the transducer through the ciliary body, through the target to be treated. So I fill with saline water the cone, as you can see here. We start the treatment. So we start. The first one is activated during 8 seconds. Then we have 20 seconds of rest between each. The second one is activated. We can check the progress in the screen of the machine. Then again 20 seconds of rest, etc. So it is not very long. It is 2 minutes to 2 minutes and a half long. It is rather a short treatment. So now in this patient it is finished. I remove the probe. I remove the cone. As you can see, the eye is nice. The treatment is easy to do, and now it is finished. So to introduce my presentation, what is glaucoma? Firstly, actually, glaucoma is a progressive destruction of the optic nerve, which is the nerve connecting the eye to the brain. For example, in this figure, you can see here the brain dedicated to the vision. We can see the eye and the retina. The optic nerve connects the retina to the brain, as you can see here. When we have a glaucoma, this part of the eye, just here, the optic nerve is affected. And for example, in this figure, you can see the optic nerve head of an healthy subject without glaucoma, and here we have an optic nerve head of a patient with glaucoma who have a large cupping, who have a large excavation of the optic nerve, showing that we have a damage of the optic nerve. And for example, in these two figures, we can see an histological examination of an healthy subject. The optic nerve is normal, and just below we can see an optical examination of an optic nerve of a patient with glaucoma, and also we have a very large cupping, we have a destruction of the optic nerve due to glaucoma. So we do not know exactly the pathophysiology of glaucoma, that is, we do not know exactly the mechanism explaining the death of the cells of the optic nerve. By contrast, thanks to clinical studies, we know some risk factors of glaucoma, as you can see here. Some of the risk factors were found in all the studies conducted. Some of the risk factors were found in some of the studies, but not in all. They are still debated. If we look at the definitive risk factor of glaucoma, we have an increase in the pressure into the eye, intraocular pressure, IOP. We have the increase in age. We have some ethnicity. The patients with black skin have a higher risk of glaucoma. We have a family history of glaucoma, which is a risk factor, and also myopia. And if we look at these 5 risk factors, as you can see, only one could be corrected, could be changed, could be treated. It is the increase in intraocular pressure. So nowadays, the treatment of glaucoma consists to decrease the intraocular pressure, the IOP. And when we decrease the IOP, we decrease the risk of glaucoma progression, and we decrease also the speed, the rate of glaucoma progression. So the pressure into the eye, the intraocular pressure, is due to the balance between the production of the aqueous, the liquid filling the eye, and the outflow of this liquid outside the eye. If we look at higher magnification, the anterior part of the eye, we can see here the ciliary body. It is a gland located just behind the iris, circular, that produce the aqueous humor. We can see the aqueous humor that fill and move into the eye, and we can see the aqueous humor that exits the eye in this part of the eye, which is called the trabeculum. So if we have decrease of the outflow, or if we have an increase in the inflow of the aqueous, we have an increase in intraocular pressure, and this is a risk factor of glaucoma. And for example, when we treat glaucoma with HIFU, with ultrasound, we treat the ciliary body, so we decrease, we destroy, we coagulate the gland, we decrease the production of the liquid, so we decrease the intraocular pressure. So the symptoms of glaucoma, the consequences of glaucoma, actually glaucoma reduces the visual field up to blindness. For example, in this figure, we can see a visual field of a normal subject without glaucoma. We can see here a visual field of patient with early glaucoma, and we can see here some damages beginning in the visual field. We here have a visual field of a patient with moderate glaucoma, and here a patient with very advanced glaucoma. So of course, it takes maybe 10, 15, 20 years to have this kind of visual field, but if we do not treat glaucoma, a patient can become blind because of glaucoma. So blindness is the consequence of glaucoma if the patients did not receive any treatment. So the goal of glaucoma is to decrease the intraocular pressure. As you can see, we can decrease the IOP by decreasing the aqueous production, or we can decrease the IOP by increasing the aqueous outflow outside the eye. Usually, the first line of treatment is a medical treatment. We treat glaucoma with eye drops. We have some eye drops decreasing the aqueous production, and we have some eye drops increasing the aqueous outflow. If the medical treatment is not enough, usually we consider a laser or surgical treatment, as you can see here, which increase the aqueous outflow outside the eye. And if we have a failure of the surgical or laser treatment, we consider a more definitive treatment, which is the destruction or coagulation of the ciliary body. So this treatment is called cyclodestruction, cyclocoagulation, or cycloplasty. We have different names, but in fact, it is the same treatment. And we can do it with diode laser or with cryotherapy. It is the older method, or we can do it with ultrasound. It is a new method that we discussed today. So we have several treatments, and it is the last line of the treatment, the destruction of the ciliary body. So the goal of glaucoma is to decrease the IOP. We have several physical methods to destroy the ciliary body, as you can see. All these methods have two major limitations. Firstly, they are not selective of the ciliary body. If we treat, for example, with diode lasers the ciliary body, we treat the ciliary body, but we also treat all the surrounding tissues. So we treat the cornea, we treat the conjunctiva, we treat the sclera, we treat the lens, so it is not good. We have several side effects. Also, with all these methods, the relationship between the dose and the effect is not predictable or poorly predictable. For example, if we treat with diode laser in one given patient with one given dose, we can have a good effect and a good decrease in IOP. We can have no effect and no decrease in IOP, or we can have too much effect and a too large decrease in IOP and an atrophy of the eye. So the relationship between the dose and the IOP reduction is not predictable with the old methods of cyclocoagulations. Some examples on these pictures of the old method. We can destroy the ciliary body with cryotherapy, as you can see. So we freeze the ciliary body, but of course we also freeze the conjunctiva, the cornea, so it's not good. Or here with diode laser. With diode laser we can coagulate the ciliary body, but we also coagulate the iris, the retina, the choroid, or the lens, as you can see. So we can see some pictures of the older method used. In the 80s, an American company have already tried to use ultrasound to coagulate the ciliary body. We can see the device. Actually, the device was very large, very bulky, and it was not easy to handle during the treatment. So it was not easy to locate precisely the device relative to the eye. So usually this device leads to several side effects, particularly some conjunctival burns or scleral burns. So it was efficient to decrease the IOP, but the safety, the tolerability was not good, so it is not yet used in clinical practice. Now this method, this device, is not yet used in practice. And if we look, for example, for all the other methods, the literature regarding the safety, regarding the tolerability, we can see several complications, several side effects of the old method to coagulate the ciliary body. Look, for example, visual acuity decrease, ocular phthisis, too low IOP, chronic inflammation, increase in IOP, disease or destruction of the cornea, disease of the iris, cataract, etc. Look the rate of patient, it is very high. So without any doubts, it was not possible to use these methods in patients with early or moderate glaucoma. All these methods were not an alternative to the glaucoma surgeries. It was only dedicated to very advanced glaucoma with very low, very poor visual field. So that's the reasons why we have tried to develop a more selective and precise physical method to coagulate the ciliary body with ultrasound.